It's the king, homie. Do, 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 do. We waiting on everybody. We waiting on everybody. We waiting on everybody. We waiting on everybody. Cause that's what we do. We waiting on the people to be the people. Just come on in. And y'all know every time we go live, the phone start blowing up. Cause I've been gone for a minute. Boy, been out, been busy, been doing the doggone thizzle. You know what I'm talking about? Just been doing the doggone thing since school started. Your boy has been up in her. Put these things on. Patrick is in the building. Sell Mo. Dog pound in the house. Sell Mo Fudd is in the building. What's good, Snacks? It's going to be interesting when Dylan blows up and they have to go to Shedeur and he performs. That would be fun. Man, I can't wait. There won't be any max protection to save. No preferential treatment. You're right on that one, bro. And I can't wait. I cannot wait because we know it's going to happen. And we know all of these things are going to take place. And it's going to get crazy out there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know we letting the people slide in and do their thing and get in the building. Holla at your boy. Waiting on them aunties to show up. You know them aunties show up. They show up big and do the doggone thing. But it is what it is. I've been busy for a minute, man. School started back, you know. So I know we was doing these things every doggone day, but since school started back, I've been running and moving and back and forth to the schools and doing a bunch of stuff and then getting my football program off the ground. My kids, getting them settled in, you know. So during the day, it's been a lot. I've been super busy and ain't been able to get to the live streams, but we finna get these things back cracking, you know. Even on game days, we gonna get them back cracking. We just gonna do what we do, you know. So even on game days, Saturdays, Sundays, you know, we might just get this thing popping. You know what I'm saying? Get everything, just get everybody in here chilling, talking, cracking jokes. I might just go and pop the Discord back open and invite everybody in the Discord. You know, so if y'all want to do the Discord thing, we might do that too. That way the community can stay a community and everybody can chat amongst themselves, even when we're not holding the live stream down, and video ideas and concepts and people we want to talk about and information we want to know that's at the ready. You can get it all right there too. So we might pop that thing back up. Darlene's back in the house. They love money more than they hate Shedeur. Yeah, that is a fact. Miss KJ, the beautiful Miss KJ, is back in the building. Yes, I am back. Your boy's been busy. Super busy. They changed a lot over here. They changed a lot of the structure in the in the 12U football program that I coach. So it's been getting up to date on all that crap and going through the motions, getting parents in line. It's been a lot, but hey, that's why your boy's been busy and not been in the building. But we're gonna get this thing back cracking. As football is back, Colorado took their first L Friday. I think they're gonna get that corrected real quick. This doggone Cleveland Browns. We don't know what they gonna do to this. They subject to do anything because this organization is a calamity. It's crazy how they operate. But let's get this party started, man. Let's do what we do. And let's come together and do the doggone thing. So, before we get started or we do anything, we got to give a shout out to you, the fan, the viewer, for taking the time out to watch this video. But do your boy a solid while you're here. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn your post notification bell on so you'll know when we doing this right here, going live, or when those videos drop straight out the box. And we will not start a video without giving a shout out to the beautiful ladies, the CU aunties. They are always in the building, always showing support. So when you see them in the chat or in the comment section of one of my videos, make sure you do them a solid and say what's up. And please be respectful at all times, because if not, we will come find you out here in these YouTube streets. You know what I'm saying? And being that the Cleveland Browns are doing what Cleveland Browns do, season opener is on Sunday, 1 p.m., which more than likely all the Browns football games will be at 1 p.m. More than likely until Shedeur Sanders starts on a regular basis. Then those games will move to prime time. Some of them might even move to Sunday and Monday night. But until that takes place, until Shedeur Sanders is a starter and is starting more than one game for the Cleveland Browns, there will not be any primetime or evening games for the Cleveland Browns. I don't think they will even make it past the 4 p.m. circuit on a Sunday. We know they don't have no Monday night games. We know they ain't playing on Thursday. So if you ain't got nothing to do, or once you get out of church, Cleveland will be posted up on their TV. So we watching Cleveland. Well, when Shedeur gets ready to start, we watching Cleveland. We watching Baltimore. We watching the Jaguars because Travis over there. We got to make sure he getting busy over there on his side. We peeking in on Arizona, and things of that nature. Sabrina is in the building. What's up, my dear? And so, we doing those things, keeping track of what's taking place. But what I've been hearing and what I've been seeing from the local media is a lot of changes when it comes to this quarterback stuff. First, Joe Flacco had a long leash. Now, that narrative is starting to change. It's starting to change to Joe Flacco might not have that long of a leash. Joe Flacco might have a short leash, and around week 3, 4, or 5, if it ain't going too well, Dylan Gabriel step on up. So it might be what it is. And that might be just what needs to happen. Because with Kenny Pickett now traded to the Raiders, which we still trying to figure out why Kenny Pickett was here in the first place. We still trying to figure out what the Browns are doing with this quarterback stuff in the first place. The reason the Browns are so baffling to a lot of people is simple. The Browns have now 3 quarterbacks, really 4, but he don't count. So we're going to leave him over there on the practice squad, the 4th quarterback, the one they just signed not too long ago. We don't even worry about him. He break glass in real emergency if ain't nobody left. But what has stammered or what has confused a lot of people when it comes to the Cleveland Browns and this quarterback room, it's like, what the freak are you doing? Because Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, 2 veterans, one's 40, one's mid-20s. One has 17 years of quarterback experience in the NFL. One is on his 4th year of his rookie contract and also on his 3rd team in his 4th year of his rookie contract. So all in all, those 2 choices were confusing by itself. Flacco and Kenny Pickett. And then comes the draft, and lo and behold, you draft Dylan Gabriel. You overdraft Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. And unbeknownst to everybody else, 2 rounds later, you draft Shedeur. So now everybody's wondering, what the hell are the Cleveland Browns doing with this quarterback room? You got 4 quarterbacks, 2 veterans, 2 rookies. What are we doing? So eventually, Kenny Pickett is traded. So that becomes a wash. Kenny Pickett only has been a nuisance in this quarterback room the entire time he's been here. For one, Kenny Pickett was a waste. He got in the way of Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur's growth because he took reps away from both players. Because even though Kenny Pickett was injured, he was still taking reps while injured. He wasn't just off to the side rehabbing. He was still participating in 7-on-7s and some team reps, taking reps away from Gabriel and Sanders. So we get Kenny Pickett out of the picture, right? Not too long ago. They thought it was a brilliant move to trade Kenny Pickett to the Las Vegas Raiders and get a 5th round pick back for Kenny Pickett, which they gave up a 5th round pick to get Kenny Pickett. And it's still the reason why I don't understand why people think they were more invested in Kenny Pickett than they were in Shedeur, and they spent more lottery picks or draft picks on Shedeur than they did Dylan Gabriel. They spent a 5th round pick on Kenny Pickett. They spent 2 6th round picks on Shedeur Sanders just to move up. So the Philadelphia Eagles or the Steelers couldn't grab him in the 5th round. But the narrative all summer has been they were more invested in Kenny Pickett and they spent more on Kenny Pickett than they did on Shedeur Sanders. And I keep saying, how the hell do y'all keep coming to that conclusion? They gave up a 5th-round pick for Kenny Pickett. They gave up 2 6th-round picks to move up in the draft to get Shedeur. Make it make sense. 2 6th-round picks is the equivalent of a 4th-round pick. So how are they more invested in Kenny Pickett? But that's neither here nor there. Let me get off that tangent because I just can't keep arguing with stupid because you can't. It's not a winning battle. But where we are in this quarterback situation, getting ready to go into the first game of the season. Now tonight, my Cowboys take on the defending champions, Philadelphia Eagles, at home in Philly. My owner is dumb and gave away the best player on the team. Jerry Jones is stupid. But back to the other stupid owner of the Cleveland Browns. This is where we are. Joe Flacco starts on Sunday. And just like the title says, Shedeur Sanders will start faster than you think he will in Cleveland. Because the narrative now is changing to where Joe Flacco's leash is not as long as we thought it was. They were thinking everybody was saying that Joe Flacco, they can ride Joe Flacco up until the break, up until the bye week. Up until the bye week, which is like week 9. That means if you play Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur on the backside of the season, we already know what you're doing in next year's draft. And the whole point of this is to see what you got. And people say, well, the rookies aren't ready to play in the NFL. How do you know that? You don't know what these rookies gonna do until they march their behinds out on that field in a real live football game, up under center, and start calling plays. You can judge off the film that you've seen in preseason. You can get a small visual of what you think they might do in a live scenario. But until they actually step out on the field in an actual NFL game, you have absolutely zero clue of what you have in that quarterback until they play. Because preseason will give you a small look. Preseason will give you a version of that quarterback. But until people have game plan and put in packages and run all the defenses they can run, then you see what happens, what kind of quarterback you have with the bullets flying. But these boys on 92.3 The Fan think differently. But let's see.
If Joe is going to fail, he has to be given every opportunity to fail. If at the first sight of struggle, you pull him for Dylan Gabriel, it doesn't matter that I can see through it. It doesn't matter the fans can see through it. That locker room is going to see through it. And the number one with a bullet, the easiest way for Kevin Stefanski to end up somebody's offensive coordinator next year is if he does something, and as you pointed out, and as I'm now pointing out, if the locker room sees through it and feels like he was being disingenuous at any point with any of this, that to me would be the concern, because Kevin doesn't have the rah-rah, rally around him, one of the boys kind of mentality that if guys start to think that, he's going to reel him back in with his decisions and his bravado.
I just think the shift in how people are speaking in the past couple of days is fascinating, considering
100%.
For the past couple of weeks, it had been, well, they start Joe because they believe in their minds that Joe can get you 17 games or Joe can be the guy. You wouldn't put him out there week 1 unless you think he can play all 17. And now just pay attention, guys. Past 24, 48 hours, everyone we're talking to is a really short leash.
And
Dillon Gabriel, the chance for week 3, week 4.
Oh. See, told you, the narrative is changing, because now what's happening also is they're starting to see that fan base that has been so loyal, that has been caring so much, they're not going to come to the game. See, because now they don't want to come watch Joe Flacco. They thought they could get away with Joe Flacco. They thought they could pacify the fans by bringing in the guy that got us to the playoffs 2 years ago. But no. Cleveland is a fan base that is rabid. They are passionate. And they give a damn, and they show up, win, lose, or draw. But this year, they're not showing up. That first game, it's not sold out. It's not even close. So now the fan base is starting to talk. Not just Shedeur's fan base. The Browns fan base is starting to talk, and they're talking with their wallets. See, because that TV revenue, that's already made. They're going to get that. So the more people stay at home watching TV, it doesn't add anything to the equation when they're not showing up to that stadium. That stadium is old as shit. It ain't worth a damn. It's raggedy. It needs to be torn down. But they're not showing up to that stadium. They're not filling up that parking lot. They're not buying those concessions. See, now you starting to feel those fans. Now the heat has been turned up. See, because 2 weeks ago, we was talking about Joe Flacco was going to have till the bye week, to week 9, week 10. Now we talking week 3, week 4. Before they even take their trip to London, Dillon Gabriel might be at the helm. So what we doing? Why all of a sudden it's a quick change? Why all of a sudden this week? Remember how they changed on Shedeur the week of the draft? They changed it on Joe the week of the game. This week. See, but what they gonna do? They gonna look down there on that sideline Sunday, and they gonna see Shedeur dressed up. They gonna see him in his uniform with the headset on, listening to the play calls and watching everything that's going on. And the first interception Joe Flacco throws, they gonna go nuts. And you can try Dillon Gabriel out there if you want to, but I'm telling you, soon as you send him out there, they gonna boo. They gonna boo. Soon as you send Dillon Gabriel out there, just as soon as you send Dillon Gabriel out there, that's what you gonna get. If you at home And if Dylan Gabriel starts his first game at home, or he comes off the bench, or they pull Flacco and they send Dylan Gabriel in the game, they're going to boo him to sleep. Because that's not what we want. Because, see, now during the season, the fans get to talk to you on Sunday. You get to hear it. You're going to be sitting in your little owner's box, and your own team going to be on the field getting booed. The players going to feel it. And they ain't going to like that. Most of the players have already made up their mind which quarterback they want to play with. They just ride with Kevin Stefanski right now because they want to see how the season is going to start. But they already know who they want to rock with. I promise you this. And if Kevin Stefanski don't do the right thing, it's going to be a problem. Because the narrative has changed on Joe Flacco.
Pressure-free environment the Browns are going to be playing with, and really Joe Flacco as well. Now, if you think Joe Flacco's got a quick, at least Stefanski got a quick leash with Flacco, maybe he'd be playing with a little bit more pressure, but Joe Flacco, and really this Browns team in general, should be about as carefree as it gets.
You would think so. I mean, the expectations are very, very low, and I think sometimes that makes teams dangerous, right? Because when the expectations are as low as they are, you know, maybe the coach can be a little bit more aggressive, maybe a little bit more creative. You know, I mean, Flacco's playing with house money at this point. I mean, I think a lot of people are surprised even playing for the money he's playing for, quite frankly, with all the money he's already made. So, you know, I think he wants to play well, but I don't expect Flacco to be shy. You know, I think he's going to get out there and sling it around and have fun and let it rip. And I think on some level that makes the Browns a dangerous team. I think eventually, you know, things kind of settle down to where they should be. But certainly early in the year when Flacco's out there, I think it helps make the Browns a dangerous team.
Right. So Flacco's going to come out comfortable. Flacco's playing with house money. Flacco has absolutely nothing to be worried about. So Flacco's going to come out there and play carefree. Feel like he can do all the things. But what is looming in the wake of Flacco's mistakes is Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And the fan base wants to see which one of them going to do something. Because we seen Joe Flacco. We already know Joe Flacco is not going to be on this team next season. Not going to happen. But we want to see what Joe Flacco can do because he has earned, as most of the fans that I've talked to that have been messaging me, that have been leaving messages on my Instagram or on the YouTube or hell on the Snapchat. They've been all over there. And they just saying, we think Joe Flacco has earned enough to at least start the first 4 to 5 games and see where he can take us. Because he got us to the playoffs a couple of years ago. But my rebuttal to that statement is what's going to happen first quarter, second quarter, game 1. Joe Flacco drops back and that defensive end comes barreling down on Joe Flacco and smushes his old behind. And now Joe Flacco is out the game. Week 1, game 1. This is a scenario. and Dillon Gabriel is now in the game. What do? Because if you're looking at it the way the Browns are looking at it, stupidly, with a futures concept, this Joe Flacco shouldn't be afforded but 2 games to open the season up. Because only thing you want your rookies to do is see it and get the feel of it. Understand how to prepare for a week. How the minutia of a week of being an NFL quarterback is. What to do. How to eat. How to sleep. How to do all the things for the upcoming week. That's all you need them to learn. That don't take 4 to 5 weeks. Because you need to see what you got. Because either way it goes, next year, you gonna need a quarterback. Because Joe Flacco ain't gonna be here. And when you draft that quarterback next season, you're gonna have 2 second-year quarterbacks and a rookie. Who gonna teach somebody something? Nobody. Because they just got here and he just showed up. So how do they learn? Who is going to be there to teach the rookie? The second-year players can't teach the rookie because they still learning how to maneuver in the NFL. This is why I never understood what the Browns did with these 2 quarterback picks and those 2 veterans. Because we knew Kenny Pickett wasn't going to last. He has never been good enough. He in his 4th year of his NFL contract on his 3rd team already. So we knew Kenny Pickett wasn't it. That's why I keep telling y'all. That man might have said Shedeur was a GM pick, but he wasn't. Shedeur was the owner's pick, regardless of any of that. The reason Shedeur has been treated the way he's been treated, I don't care about NFL standards. Shedeur has been treated the way he's been treated because Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry have to prove the point that they are correct. I got NFL friends that are retired. We have had these conversations and they keep telling me, Snacks, this is an ego thing. They know Shedeur is better than Dillon Gabriel. They have seen it. But in order to prove that they are right, they have to start Dillon Gabriel before they start Shedeur. Because they are not going to look stupid for wasting a 3rd round pick on Dillon Gabriel. Those are what my homies have said. The retired NFL players that I know. And I'm talking Pro Bowl players. I ain't talking about regular dudes. I know some regular dudes that played in the NFL. I went to school with a few regular dudes that played in the NFL. But that's neither here nor there. This is what the people that has been through this are telling me. When I give y'all stuff, I just don't give it to you. Football, I'm talking to the people that have done it on a very high level. The highest of highs. The only way they know if they've been in it. But when you extrapolate all the things that have taken place from the time Dylan and Shedeur were drafted, it's inconsistent because everybody wants to hold that last third quarter, fourth quarter of the last preseason game that we see when we saw Shedeur play with that horrible offensive line and those horrible receivers that were never going to make the team. My boys told me they put Shedeur in a no-win situation. There was nothing he could do. That was just a bad situation. But when you match Shedeur's first game, when he played with the twos, and when he got a chance to play with some receivers that are going to start this season or get a lot of playing time this season, you saw what he did. Wasn't no scrambling around. Wasn't no running around the pocket. It was stepping up in the pocket, moving around the pocket when you were playing with players that you were confident with, that you trusted, that you knew could run the routes and get open. And even if they weren't open and you threw the ball, they would get there. On that last game, that wasn't possible. That didn't happen. So that's why we ask those questions. That's why it's so freaking crazy to me when I hear people talk about that. When I hear people just say, well, his last game he did this and he did that. And I said, but when they play with the same talent, what happened? Shedeur started the first game and he went off, played a good game. Dylan Gabriel started the second game. He played well. He made some mistakes. Now, that's the comparison right there when they played with equal talent on both sides of the ball, with equal talent on the offensive line, equal talent in the wide receiver room, equal talent on the tight ends. Who was better? Who made less mistakes? That is your comparison. That last game, you can just throw that out the window. Because that was a booby trap game. And Shedeur fell for the booby trap. Because Shedeur was a competitor and he was trying to make something out of nothing. But in a real live game, when it's going on, I promise you, you won't get that. Same way you didn't get it in the first game. They killed me trying to make those comparisons. Okay, now compare the first two games. Don't worry about the third one. The third one's a wash. Because Dylan Gabriel wasn't playing too great until that 2-minute drill came up. That's when he played good. In the 2-minute drill. But in the regular offense, when it wasn't no 2-minute drill, when he came out for the second quarter, he wasn't all that spectacular. But that 2-minute drill, he was good because they was playing with speed. They was playing like they played at Oregon. You throw the pass, you hike, you line back up, and you say hike again, and you throw another one. See, he was playing in his rhythm. That's when he was good. When he was playing in the shotgun. But when he get up on the center and have to drop back, the stats show a different thing. That Dylan Gabriel is not that good. But what I'm saying is, I ain't giving you none but these facts. I ain't telling you nothing but the truth. But see, Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, they can't let you see that. But now the season about to start, and they're not gonna have a choice. Because if they go through this season without Shedeur Sanders starting 5 to 6 games, they might not be nobody in the stands. There might not be anyone in the stands. Come games 3 and 4, 5, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur should be playing. 923 the fan.
I do think, though, week 1 is more important for the Browns than it is most teams because of the simple math problem that the Browns are going to run into. And that math problem is once you get more than one loss in a row, the clock begins to tick very quickly for Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
And
he
in
knows
favor of Dylan Gabriel. And that's the Browns actually do need the week 1 win a hell of a lot more than the Bengals do.
I mean, and if we believe Mary Kay's reporting, like it's going to be a pretty quick leash. She's got a lot of faith that Dylan Gabriel, and what the Browns are telling her is that Dylan Gabriel can come in basically at any point that Flacco starts to struggle. That's week 3. It's on the table.
No. If Dylan Gabriel can come in at any point Flacco starts to struggle, Dylan Gabriel can start right now, week 1. Because you telling me he ready. If that's what you saying. We ain't got to wait till he struggle. We can pull the trigger now, which is really what you need to be doing. But like I said, I give you some grace. I give you week 1 and week 2. Because Joe Flacco going back to the Ravens, and the Ravens going to embarrass the shit out of Cleveland come week 2, and they're going to do a celebration when the Cleveland Browns sold their team and became the Baltimore Ravens. They are going to do a 30-year celebration of that event while Cleveland is there. That is so embarrassing. And then they're going to celebrate Joe Flacco for winning the Super Bowl. That's going to be so embarrassing for the Cleveland Browns. But what I'm saying is, if you saying that Dylan can replace Flacco at any moment, even in game 1, that means Flacco don't need to start game 1. Flacco don't need to start game 1. Dylan Gabriel need to play games 1 through 9. Shedeur need to, or game 1, Shedeur need to play game 2. They can swap it out. They can play 4, then he can play 4, or they can do whatever. But whatever they need to do, they need to know what these 2 players can do as quarterbacks, because they have no clue. See, then you wait toward the end of the season when you already losing. That means the rest of the players really don't give a shit. They just trying to get the season over with so we can go home, go on vacation, spend time with our family, since we not going to the playoffs. You're not going to get the best performance out of your players. You're not going to get that I want to win performance out of your players. So why would you wait? Why would you do that? Even if you're drafting a quarterback next year, it ain't but 2 or 3 quarterbacks in this next year's draft class that's worth drafting in the first round. And I'll tell you who they are right now. And ain't now one of them named Arch Manning. I've been told y'all that. Everybody else fawning over that kid. That kid ain't played no real life football. Saturday, he looked like a deer in the headlights. When he looked across there and seen them Ohio State boys and like, oh my God, them some real football players. They big as fuck. They can run too. Oh yeah. But what you need to do is get them people together. Get Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur together and have them swap every other game. Or you play 3, he play 3, you play 3, he play 3. Get Joe Flacco 2 and let them see the game real life in real life speed. Let them learn what they need to do the week of preparation for a football game. Learn how they need to go to sleep and wake up and eat, because it's different in the NFL. The schedules are different. They play on Sunday, off on Monday, back on Tuesday. It's a different way to work. How you need to get treatment, how you need to work out, how you need to study, how long you need to study, how much sleep you are actually going to need. All these things are important, but they need to go through it. They need to see it. They need to watch it happen. Then they'll have a better understanding of what needs to be done. And then you just sit Joe Flacco on the bench, say, you sit over there, don't you get hurt walking around, because we might need you if we do. It's levels to this. But you can't grow your quarterbacks without them participating in practice, which Joe Flacco is going to get all the reps because he started. And he didn't do that much in preseason. So everything that happens up until this game, Joe Flacco is on every freaking rep. Because he has no real chemistry with these wide receivers. That practice chemistry is not game chemistry. That ain't game speed chemistry. So that matters. You want to throw these rookies into the fire, they're going to have a learning process. But the Browns going to mess around and waste some more draft picks next year. And then they're going to be doing the same thing. Because soon as Shedeur hit the field and he go out there and show out, their phone going to light up. And somebody going to come get him. And like the Browns are an analytic team, and they like draft picks more than they like players, they're going to give him away. Because the Browns are not used to winning. The Browns don't know what a good quarterback looks like. Kevin Stefanski has been here 6 years and has not produced a quarterback or winning seasons. And you guys trust your head coach to develop and understand what a good quarterback looks like? When the one good quarterback he had, he ran him off. Now he in Tampa Bay, shining like my head. Out there just shining, balling. Those are just facts. I don't know how many quarterbacks Cleveland has been through since since Kevin Stefanski has been here, but I promise you it's about 15. Because they played 9 in the last 2 years. Dylan and Shedeur makes 10 and 11. Kenny Pickett, I don't know if you're going to count him or not. If you count him, he make 12. Those are just the last 3 years of quarterbacks. Can't count Joe Flacco twice. Yes, you can. You can count Joe Flacco twice because he was off the team, then he came back. Yeah, he count again. So we had 14 already. Deshaun, hello. DTR, hello. You know how many quarterbacks that Kevin Stefanski has had, and none of them have panned out. So you tell me, They ain't drafted. These are the first two quarterbacks they have actually drafted. Because Deshaun Watson, they didn't have no picks. So, you tell me, can you trust your head coach to develop a quarterback? Can you trust your head coach to pick the right quarterback? Can you trust Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry to do the right thing for this team and not just the right thing to try to keep their jobs? Because right now, they haven't shown you that they are capable of doing any of that. None of the above have they shown, put on the field, on tape, that they can pick a quarterback, let alone build one, help one develop, nurture a quarterback into a winning quarterback. Because what they want is lightning in a bottle. They want someone that's going to electrify and do what Jaden Daniels did last year. That's why the Cleveland Browns can't win. Because in the last 25 years, they have not developed not one quarterback, no matter which coach it was, no matter whose turn it was at bat. They haven't done it. It's kind of like Jerry Jones owning the Cowboys. He came in hot. And it's been all downhill since then. He loved Tony Romo so much he wouldn't let him go. Had the team built, but you had the wrong quarterback. And here you are, Cleveland, Ohio fans, Cleveland Brown fans, supporters of Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, believers, the dog pound. When y'all gonna start questioning your head coach, your general manager about doing their job? Because now we're in the year, 7? This one is. We going 3-14 again? What we doing? We tanking for that first round pick. You got 2 first round picks. And if Travis be Travis in Jacksonville, that Jacksonville pick might not be all that great. $92.3 the fan.
I think it's just indicative of, where the Browns are at.
Is it?
In a quarterback search.
Is it?
They're flailing away. They're flailing away. And I think the Shedeur Sanders pick just kind of confirmed that. They were throwing darts. They threw another dart. It's going to be really hard for those darts to hit this year in their given situation. And they're going to throw another dart next year in the first round. And she's talking about data points and evaluating quarterbacks. And I'll never understand how they tweaked the formula to arrive at third round overdrafting Dylan Gabriel and then taking Shedeur Sanders 2 rounds later. Because then, is that another analytical model in the draft over a 5-year stretch? Here's the amount of quarterbacks we have to take for a competitive spirit to be able to come up with a guy that could maybe start, or maybe it details who the backup could be. I don't know. I don't know any of that. But the way she's talking, it seems to me that in their proprietary formula, they put it all in there. They put a blindfold on after that, and then whoever comes out with the highest number, that's the quarterback.
Is it like with the chickens and the kazoo on South Park, where they cut off the head and the guy plays the kazoo, and wherever it lands, they're going to take that QB? They can't do that high in the draft.
I don't know.
They're not going to do that high in the draft.
Isn't that kind of what it sounds like to you? Is they Did that make sense to her in her mind and then it came out a different way? Or is that exactly how she wanted to say that?
Listen, as a person who's listened
that
to
answer was a mess.
As a person who's listened to a lot of Donald Rumsfeld,
there are
RIP,
no unknowns.
She did exactly what she was supposed to do. All right? It's not how I would have answered it, but I probably would have said too much. And she kept it vague.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly kept it vague. But I don't think if they get a high pick for a first-round quarterback next year.
The Browns have maintained their strategic advantage with their line of thinking. They haven't spoiled any of the secret sauce there, I can assure you that.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Cleveland Browns at its finest. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They have no clue on what they are doing. Focusing on next year. Let me tell you how most teams approach this. They find the quarterback that they like in the draft. They draft him. He's going to be our guy. So they start putting the resources into him being their guy. Year one, he's either going to start or he's going to sit and learn. Ain't no in between. Ain't no we got to see what's in the draft next year. So if he sits year one and just learns, year two, come practice time, he's taking reps. They splitting the reps. Last year's starting quarterback, he ain't getting all the reps because he know he finna go out the door anyway, or he finna be the backup. Just like when Cam Ward went to Tennessee, they starting quarterback said, hell, I'm going to get surgery. Y'all got Cam. I'm going to go get surgery, and I'm just going to let you and Cam handle it. That way you can't bench me. You can't sit me. You can't trade me. I'm going to sit myself down. I'm just going to get these checks. Don't even worry about it. See, Cleveland's not developing a quarterback. They're not putting any energy into who's next. See, if that's your guy, if that's your quarterback, then that's what we got. All the resources go right there. Then the next year, we're going to put you out there on the field. You might suck. You might get your ass kicked. But that's growing pains. Year two come around, we expect you to be better. Year three come around, you should be a lot better. Hopefully, we doing things year three or year two, depending on how good you were. Cleveland has not done that. Cleveland is not doing that. Cleveland said, fuck it. Give me two of them. Give me one that don't nobody like. Give me the other one that everybody like, but we can't draft him yet. Everybody like him, but we just can't draft him because the other homeboys in the 32 club gonna get upset. Oh shit, 5th round. Ain't nobody thought about it. They forgot. We finna buck the system. Go get him. Go get him. Go get him. So we went and got him. Now they don't know what to do with him. Now they scared of him because they knew he was good. They knew they wanted him. But to just calm the noise down, you drafted the little man. You drafted the little Dollar General. And then your big boss man said, screw what my partner said. Screw what the other 31 owners or the other small group of people that we was in on it with, screw what they said. We going to get him anyway. And Kevin Stefanski said, well, you just blew up everything. Now what we gonna do? Peyton P.D. Manning. See Brian a football guy. See, because don't nobody remember that cover up in Tennessee. That sexual allegation cover up of Peyton Manning in Tennessee. When Peyton Manning was in college. Y'all better do some research. The NFL covered that thing up so quick, it wasn't even funny. But back to the Browns, we ain't gonna even get there. I saw that PD Manning thing and that jarred that memory real quick. But the Browns have continuously shot themselves in the foot when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. They know that he is better than Dylan Gabriel. And they know once he gets on this field this season, it's pretty much over with for any other quarterback you want to play. That's why I'm glad Shedeur is going third. That is the only reason I'm glad he gets to go last. Because if he go before Dylan Gabriel would never see the field. They would have to pull Shedeur and they would have to put him out there in a game where they would hope and pray that he would screw up and they could pull him and say, yeah, see, we tried. And that's my biggest fear in this situation. That's my biggest fear in this situation. Is that he doesn't go out there and shine, but he goes out there and does enough. But he makes one mistake, and that's the one that's going to cost him. Because all they're looking for is a reason. That's all they need is a reason. And then they say, well, see, we tried and look what he did. This is what happens when we try. And then he out of there. And then, well, we going back to Dylan, even though Dylan threw 6 picks in 2 games. Oh, we going back to Dylan. But this is why I'm glad that Dylan Gabriel is going first. Send him on out there. Because they're going to eat him alive. Dylan Gabriel is not ready for the NFL. The only way Dylan Gabriel can survive this NFL if they run tempo offense. If it's not tempo, he is not going to be able to do it. If we getting in huddles, we getting under the center, it's just too much. It's just too hard. But anyway, let's get into this comment section, man. I've been gone too long because I be ready to throw these haymakers at Cleveland because they be pissing me off, dog. Let's get into this comment section. Let's see who popping over here. Robert is in the building. This is probably why Arch Manning Sr. and Arch isn't coming out this year. Arch don't need to come out. Y'all need to understand Arch Manning did not play at a 6A high school in Louisiana. Arch Manning played at a 2A private school in Louisiana. Arch Manning wasn't even a man in his class. He was a Manning, but he wasn't the man. Yeah. I was a Giants fan for over 45 years. I am no longer a fan of any team because of this. I'm ready for the return of the Negro League. I am so with you in your idea. The fact that a lot of fans was high off of Manning and believing the talking bobblehead proved they do not do research on players. If they did, they would have known Manning ain't it. Boy, you ain't said nothing but a word, my child, right there. I tried to tell them. They don't listen to me because I'm just an old man sitting in my little corner of YouTube, just delivering the things the way we deliver them, and everybody don't like it, everybody don't understand it. But I'm glad y'all here. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I tried to tell y'all, Arch ain't that boy. Arch only went to one camp while he was in high school, and that was the Manning camp. All these other boys went to the 247 camps, the Elite 11 camps, the camps in Florida, the camps in California, the camps in Ohio, camps in Georgia, camps in Alabama, camps in Louisiana. Arch wasn't doing none of that. God bless Arch and his 15 throws. Is amazing how they crown that young man and act like it wasn't because he was white. Look, man, it wasn't even because he was white. It's because he's a Manning. He could have been black and been a Manning. He was going to get that thing. Because the Mannings are football royalty. I don't know why Eli is football royalty, because Eli, if it wasn't for Tyree and that catch, they saved Eli in both of them Super Bowls. He did have a couple throws in them Super Bowls that were like, okay, Eli, but Eli ain't that boy. Eli just won some Super Bowls. Hell, Flacco ain't that boy either, but Flacco won the Super Bowl. It's a bunch of Super Bowl quarterbacks that ain't worth for crap. Man, in his third year, and he just now started. That should have been clue number one. I'm telling you, I would rather watch a black-owned operated NFL on a college campus and set on the 50-yard line of the Super Bowl. That is manhood. Look, man, y'all tripping. Brian, you watching Stop the Cap. YouTube views, I'm amazed it took a backup college player to play a game for somebody to wake up. Man, look here, man. Y'all don't understand how horrible I've been telling people that Manning kid was not going to be great. Now, he going to look great these next 3 weeks because they play nobody of substance. Nobody that issues a challenge. So maybe that'll build his confidence up. Maybe that'll put his head in the game. But when you get on that SEC schedule, it's going to hurt. Because they coming. They coming real bad. D.R. Robert, nope. The black man example is the Sanders not working out for them. Couldn't be a black man. No. That is not the black Mannings, bro. That's Deion Sanders. And that's better than the Mannings. You understand me? That's better than the Mannings. Deion Sanders is better than both of them put together. They won Super Bowls. Eli won his luckily. Peyton, first one, he earned it. That second one, that was all defense. That had nothing to do with Peyton Manning. That was Denver defense. That wasn't Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was ass at Denver. He was just a Manning. He was that Manning. Texas is all superstars in every position except quarterback. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Y'all talking about that the defensive coordinator did this and the defensive coordinator did. No. No, Arch did that. Arch didn't do that. That was the problem. Arch didn't do the things he was supposed to do. The game was still too fast for him. D Hall out there and activate the great white hope theory. These man and dudes. Man, look, man. Archie gonna come into his own. You know, he gonna come into his own. These things are going to happen. It's part of the game. It's part of the development process. Good thing is Sark is a great signal caller. It's a great play caller. One of the best in the business. Art's just gonna have to get his speed up. Look, Shakira's in the building. She talking about what the hell is going on now. You just not waking up from your nap, playing with them dogs. Yeah, Peyton was throwing picks in the playoff. They had to get the running game, take the ball out of his hands in the. Yeah, Peyton. That second Super Bowl win was all defense. That wasn't Peyton Manning. The first one, yeah, that's all Peyton. The Indianapolis one, yeah, that's all Peyton, man. Ain't no question. But the one in Denver, oh no, that is not Peyton Manning at all. Peyton Manning was horrible. Peyton Manning was horrible in the playoffs and in that Super Bowl. Peyton Manning was not that man. No, sir. Let's be honest. Arch will always be mid, pretty much, yeah. Without a doubt. Arch Rodman will always be mid as hell because he ain't that boy. He ain't that good. But hopefully he grows into a true Manning quarterback. And one of them uncles, because his daddy was better than his brothers. So hopefully he got his father's athleticism. You know what I'm saying? But because the other two, Peyton and Eli, they stiff as boards. That's why they were pocket passers. Because they couldn't move. They couldn't move at all. Flacco played at Delaware 30 years ago, and they play Colorado Saturday. Shedeur better place that bet. I bet they trash talk all week. Look, man, Delaware is not a horrible college. They just moved up in Division I, the FCS. So they are in the big boy game. But Delaware got more NFL quarterbacks than Texas do. That was drafted first and second round, including one Joe Flacco. You know, so don't underestimate Delaware. Delaware ain't no punk. They play real football over there. You know, Dion got them boys. Them boys just wasn't ready. It was a lot of stuff that happened Friday that they wasn't ready for all that shine. A lot of that light, they knew it was bright. They knew it was loud, but they didn't know it was like that. You know, and now you got that out your system. Even Caden Salter, who has played in some big games, who has played in a New Year's Six bowl game, it was still a big stage for him. So, you know, we'll give him that one. Like I said in my videos, that game, that L, it ain't gonna hurt. It'll hurt overall, but in the true nature of the goal that they're trying to reach, it don't hurt. It don't hurt. And that was part of the learning curve right there. It's some things that Colorado was doing Friday. They were still trying to figure some things out. They was trying to still see what players mesh with which players. What the defensive line looks like with this, and this, or this, and this, or him, and him. What the safeties look like with these two, or this matchup, or who playing the nickel right here. You know, They were still trying to figure some of those things out. They were still trying some things. And they still lost by 7. I've been telling y'all that Colorado team is good. It is stacked. And Juju gonna play Saturday. Juju is a better quarterback than Caden Salter. I'm telling y'all right now. I've been saying it forever. But I've been telling y'all before, even when Caden Salter said he was coming to Colorado, they're gonna run a 2-quarterback system. And it starts Saturday. And it's gonna be like that all season. Because Julian is too good and too great to be sitting on the sideline. People think just because that young man is 17, he's not ready for college football. Yes, he is. He's been playing above his weight his entire life. At 9 years old, he was playing with high schoolers. He ready. The man started on his high school varsity football team at quarterback as a freshman. Y'all better understand how good that young man is. Juju is true. He ready. Juju is the truth. He is ready to go. He about that business. But anyway, man, I'm going to get out of here. I got to run. I got to go pick up these uniforms for these boys. Pass them out this evening at practice. Do the doggone thing. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, y'all ain't know about Coach Snacks over here. You know, I know a thing or two about football. I don't just be talking. But anyway, man, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all for watching. Thank y'all for coming out. You know, when you see a CU auntie, make sure you say what's up to a CU auntie. You figure deal me. Anyway, man, appreciate y'all for coming out. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Don't forget to go by our sponsor, Live Audio, and get yourself yeah, y'all make sure y'all stop by Live Audio. All that is in the chat, in the description of this video. So I'm gonna get out of here, man. Y'all be great. Have a wonderful day. Appreciate y'all for coming out. We back, baby. We finna keep it up. I'ma holler at y'all. Peace.